What is up, guys? Team Moki Moki's Beta here, and if you don't know what Beta is, that would be B in Greek or Roman or one of those ancient languages that sounds awesome. Extra deck. This is part 4, I believe. Yeah, part 4. This is going to be side deck and extra deck. So, extra deck just consists of a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon and a Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon because I run Starlight Road, and Fortress Dragon because I'm pro inside Cyber Dragons. So, not much to really explain on those. So let's go ahead and go to side deck. Side deck consists of, and I'll let you know what they're for after I go through the side deck. So we got 2 Consecrated Lights, 2 Cyber Dragons, 2 Honests. Now at this point you're probably like, what the fuck? But just hold on. Just wait. Future Visions, a Skyscraper. Yeah, this is not the typical Eatos side deck. Prohibition, 2 Corridor of Agony, a Beckoning Light. What? Mind Crush, Royal Oppression, and Tutor Scheme. Now, let's go ahead and go back through that, but we're going to go through it, well, I was going to say backwards, but no, that would make a hell of a lot more sense if I went forwards. So, now, against certain matchups, let me go ahead and start by saying, against certain matchups, Macro is not the way to go. Against GBs, Macro doesn't hurt them at all. Their E-Quests are a little dead, and that's pretty much it. And maybe Darius, but that's 2 cards. And after game 1, they're probably going to side those out anyway. So, against certain matches like Blackwings, or honestly, against Blackwings, the only thing you're hurting is Colute, so you might want to keep one of the dimensional features or one of the macros teched in, but Colute isn't all that big a deal. So, what you're going to want to do is against Blackwings or GBs or any other deck that doesn't really revolve on their graveyard, which are very few, far between right now, you're going to want to side most of this in. Now, I think 13 cards out of here are for Blackwings alone, so a little bit less for GBs. So we'll go ahead and go through this. Now, against Blackwings and GBs, you're going to want to side out all the macro stuff and side in most of this. That's where the Beckoning Lights come in, that's where the Honest come in, that's where all that comes in. So, go ahead and let you know what's for what. So these you're going to want to go against Infernities while keeping the macro stuff in, or Blackwings with taking the macro stuff out. You can Beckoning Light this back, you can Honest with it to match up with something. If they normal summon, flip, activate like Skill Drain or something like that, or if Skill Drain's up for some reason and you summon this and they attack over it, and you can just drop Honest if you wanted to. Or if you want to get over something stupid like Shura that you don't want to keep there or whatever. Then you got 2 Cyber Dragons. I know mine's a little bit screwed up on the corner, but whatever. Cyber Dragon can be Honested, it can be Special Summoned, it gets around all the Blackwings except Elfin, which no one runs, I mean, besides Synchros. And it gets around all the GBs, so, you know, why not? Cyber Dragon. And by that I mean Honest. Honest, you can drop on all of the following cards that I just showed you. The Consecrated Lights, the Cyber Dragons, and you can even drop it on another Honest. Oh my god! You can also drop it on your 6 targets in your main deck, which would be your 6 Geminis, as well as your 2 Thunder King or Ios, and who's going to expect Honest Game 2 after they've played a macro deck? I think the best reaction I got was a dude named Bill at my locals. We played game 1. He was playing some random Chaos variant, so he didn't mind the graveyard manipulation all that much. Then game 2, I attacked. I was like, do you have any response? He's like, no, even though I read a Mirror Force face down, and I was right. Because my monster was higher, and he was like, no, go ahead. And he was expecting a Gemini Spark, and I honested his ass. And he was like, what? Honest in a macro deck? It's really surprising, no one expects it, and it gets over Colute, which is awesome. So, Future Visions. Future Visions is for Blackwings. I considered maining it for a while. I think I even did main it for a while if you check one of my older videos, especially in the Sinful Eatos variant. But how this fucks up Blackwings is when a monster, the effect is, if a monster is normal summoned, or when a monster is normal summoned, my bad, remove from play that monster. During the next standby phase, the controller who summoned that monster returns it to the field in face-up attack position. Now, what's awesome about that is, when it comes back, first of all, when it comes back, it's returned. So, when it comes back, you can't bottomless it, which means if this is out and you normal summon a Barbaros, this isn't a Barbaros, but if you normal summon a Barbaros, they can bottomless then and there. If they don't have a bottomless, or they don't use the bottomless, or whatever, it's removed. When it comes back, it's a 3,000 beater because its attack is reset thanks to this. And they can't bottomless it because it's being returned to the field, not summoned to the field. So, you miss their timing on that. Also, it stops Blackwings hardcore. This is the best side deck card against Blackwings ever. I don't see why no one runs this but me, and people are retarded. Future Visions against Blackwings is amazing. The reason for this is, When a monster is normal summon, remove from play that monster. Now, I only run one because I can always, MST it, or even though I don't run MST, they'll probably get MST it, and I'll lose a monster more than likely because that's usually what happens. But, think about it. What do they have to do to activate Delta Crow? Have a face-up monster. So if they summon a monster, they have to activate Delta Crow then and there. Also, what happens to get a Blizzard playoff to get a free level 6? They have to normal summon a monster. So they normal summon Blizzard. They get back to level 4. Blizzard's removed. Now they can't synchro till the next turn, and I'm probably not going to let that level 4 stay there till next turn. Then next turn, actually, when they try to normal summon another monster to synchro, they can't. What happens if they want to special summon Boras? They have to have a face-up monster. So, first turn, summon Shura. Oh, it's removed. Yay. Now you can't special all those Boras till next turn. It's just a really good card. It disrupts a lot of Blackwing plays, and yeah. I mean, they could still set Nikris attack it, but whatever. Skyscraper. Skyscraper is my new tech. I need to test this out, actually. It helps the Aliases and the Stratos become 28 and 29 beaters, respectively, and helps me get around stuff. It's just a nice tech card. It kind of makes it more into Little City, or Big City, or whatever the fuck's it. A city deck. Not that it matters. Yeah, it just makes my heroes bigger beaters, and they're not just fodder for... They're not just 19 beaters and fodder for, Spark. Prohibition. It's good against, like, anything right now. Mainly, when you side out your Dimensional Fissures and all that kind of stuff, use Prohibition to call Kalut against Blackwings. Use it to call War Chariot against... Or actually, War Chariot could give a shit. I could give a shit about War Chariot. Bottomless, actually, is a good call for this, because Bottomless is really annoying. Decree, any of that stuff. It's just good. I attack 1. 2 Corridor of Agony. I don't really need to explain this unless you haven't seen the card. If you haven't seen the card, think about Mirror of Oath. I'm pretty sure you should know what that is because it's the ultimate side deck card other than Swallow Flip. You should be running these, though, because this is basically a Consecrated Light for all GB monsters, and I guess whatever Spy brings out. Beckoning Light, because you're not going to have that many cards in your hand, and when you have an Eatos or something like that in your hand, or some shitty card that you could care less about, you can pitch it off to get back an Honest before an attack. They declare an attack, you activate Beckoning Light, pitch a card, get back 1 to 2 Honests, and then drop Honest. It's pro, no one thinks about that, and no one is going to expect it against Macro. Mind Crush is just a good side deck card altogether. Stop Infernity OTK by calling Launcher or Archfiend, whichever one. More than likely you're going to want to call Launcher when they first try to pull off the OTK. Call Kalut if you don't have, your Prohibition or your whatever else set up. If you're thinking Kalut is. Plus you get to see what their hand is, so that's awesome. The second Oppression, I don't think I really need to explain that. Oppression is good this format. And Tuner Scheme. If you don't know what this card does, I've been citing it for a while. Activate when a single monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field. That includes Vayu summons or Eccentric Boy summons or any random else summon like that. It doesn't have to be Synchro summoned. Or they can even call the Haunted back like a Stardust or something like that. It does not matter. Take control of that Synchro monster. Remove it from play when it is destroyed. Or destroy this card when that monster is removed from the field. So, the only thing that this card gets owned by would be Hunley, because they get automatic response when Hunley is summoned. And Brionic, because they get priority on Brionic unless they synced with the Sangan, at which point they lose priority. But if they sync Brionic, don't activate Tuner Scheme. Let it bounce back to the hand, kill it, and then when they synchro something else, then you can Tuner Scheme it. Because all they have to do is, when they call priority, pitch a card, bounce this. Now they know that you have a Tuner Scheme coming up. So there is the side deck. You've seen the extra deck. Let's go ahead and get on to the last part, which should be part 5, which is going to be the Sinful Eatos variant. This is the Gemini variant that has been tested so well, tried and true. We got the Sinful Eatos variant that you guys can see on the Sinful Eatos deck update, but it just didn't run. It's more of a fun deck variant. I mean, if you guys want to try it, like, competitively, go for it, but I'm letting you know it's not going to work as well as you think it would. I mean, Sin Blue Eyes is a good card, but when you top deck a Blue Eyes when you could have top decked anything else, it's really lame. So, if you want to, by now, if you've played Eatos, you probably could care less about this, but if you're intrigued enough to actually watch and see what Sin Blue Eyes does in the Eatos deck, check out the next part. Yeah, I can't even show my whole head. Cinco, that you can't see. Peace. Part 5.